Welcome back to State Quarter, coin collectors and history lovers. In this video, we're diving into a coin that looks ordinary but hides a mind-blowing secret, something most people completely overlook, yet serious collectors would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. That's right, a coin you might pass by every day could secretly be a six-figure treasure. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll see why one tiny piece of metal is making the coin world go absolutely wild. Let's get started. First up, I'm talking about the 1985 United States Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark, a coin that on the surface looks ordinary, but under the right conditions becomes something truly extraordinary. The Kennedy half dollar itself carries powerful meaning. Introduced after the tragic loss of President John F. Kennedy, this coin became a symbol of national pride, remembrance, and strength. By 1985, these coins were still widely used in circulation, especially in casinos, banks, and everyday transactions. That's exactly why many of the rare examples slipped through unnoticed. People spent them, stacked them, scratched them, and forgot about them. Few imagined that decades later, collectors would be carefully examining these same coins under magnification, hunting for tiny details that separate common pieces from legendary ones. Now, let's talk about the Denver Mint. The D mint mark is small, but it matters more than most people realize. In 1985, Denver produced a massive number of Kennedy half dollars, which makes finding a normal circulated example very easy. But rarity isn't always about low mintage alone. It's about condition, strike quality, surface preservation, and sometimes mysterious mint errors that only appear on a handful of coins. That's where things get exciting. Some 1985 D Kennedy half dollars were struck with exceptional detail, sharp lettering, blazing luster, and near-perfect surfaces. These are the coins that collectors chase aggressively when they appear at major auctions. Imagine holding a coin that looks almost untouched by time. The hair details on Kennedy's portrait are crisp. The eagle on the reverse shows full feather definition. There are no major contact marks, no dull patches, no wear on the high points. Coins like this didn't survive by accident. They were either carefully set aside the moment they were released or protected in rolls that never entered circulation. When these coins are professionally graded and authenticated at the highest levels, the conversation changes completely. They stop being just another half dollar and start being elite collector material. What really fuels interest is how few top-grade examples exist. Thousands of 1985 D Kennedy half dollars may survive, but only a tiny fraction qualify as true high-end specimens. Add in rare striking characteristics, unusual luster patterns, or subtle minting anomalies, and demand explodes. Advanced collectors are not buying these coins for nostalgia alone. They are competing with other serious buyers, investors, and registry set builders who want the best of the best, no matter the cost. When one of these rare examples appears publicly, it creates bidding wars that surprise even seasoned numismatists. This is why checking your coins matters. Many people overlook half dollars entirely, assuming they have no value beyond face. But history has proven that modern coins can become major standouts when condition and rarity align perfectly. A single overlooked detail can be the difference between a 50-cent coin and a six-figure treasure. That's why collectors always say, never clean your coins, never rush to sell, and always get professional opinions on anything that looks unusually sharp or flawless. Now here's the part everyone waits for: the value. While most 1985 D Kennedy half dollars are common, ultra-rare high-grade examples with exceptional strike quality and top professional certification have reached astonishing levels. In elite auction settings, the finest known specimens of the 1985 United States Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark have been associated with values ranging from $130,000 to $150,000, depending on grade, eye appeal, and collector demand at the time of sale. That's a powerful reminder that sometimes the biggest treasures aren't ancient or gold, they're hiding in plain sight. Next up, this is the 1973 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark, a coin that has shocked collectors and rewritten expectations in the modern coin world. By 1973, the Kennedy half dollar was already a familiar sight across America. It had been in circulation for nearly a decade, and many people believed the excitement around it had faded. Silver was gone from regular production, inflation was rising, and half dollars were slowly disappearing from daily use. Banks stored them, businesses avoided them, and the public stopped paying attention. That lack of attention is exactly what allowed some of the most important examples to slip through unnoticed. A 1973 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark means one thing: it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. At the time, Philadelphia coins did not carry a mint mark, making them blend in even more easily with everyday change. Millions were produced, but here's the truth most people don't understand. Most of those coins were heavily handled, poorly stored, or damaged over time. Very few survived in pristine condition, and fewer still survive with flawless surfaces, razor-sharp details, and eye appeal strong enough to stop experienced collectors in their tracks. When collectors examine a truly special 1973 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar, the difference is immediate. The portrait of President Kennedy appears bold and lifelike, with full hair definition and clean facial features. The fields around the design glow with original luster, not dulled by circulation or cleaning. On the reverse, the eagle stands strong, with clear feather separation and crisp lettering. These details matter because they separate a regular coin from a world-class specimen. What makes this coin especially intriguing is that 1973 was not a year people thought to save half-dollars. There were no major design changes, no silver content, no obvious reason to hold them aside. As a result, finding one today in exceptional condition is incredibly difficult. That rarity is not obvious at first glance, but the market recognizes it immediately. High-end collectors know how few perfect or near-perfect examples exist, and they are willing to compete fiercely to secure one. Auction rooms tell the real story. When a top-quality 1973 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark appears, the atmosphere changes. Bidding moves fast. Numbers climb quickly. Collectors aren't just buying a coin, they're buying a missing piece of history, a key example that completes advanced sets and registry collections. These buyers understand that once a coin like this disappears into a private collection, it may not resurface for years, sometimes decades. Another factor that drives demand is authenticity and grading. Coins that have been professionally graded at the highest levels carry enormous credibility. These grades confirm that the coin has survived untouched, unaltered, and preserved exactly as it left the mint. That level of trust is essential when values rise into serious territory. It's also why collectors are urged to never clean coins and never assume a modern coin has no future value. This coin also represents a shift in the hobby. For many years, collectors focused only on classic silver and gold. Today, modern-era coins in elite condition are rewriting record books. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark stands as proof that rarity is not just about age. It's about survival, condition, and demand coming together at the perfect moment. Now, let's talk about the value that has everyone paying attention. While typical 1973 Kennedy half-dollars are worth only face value, the finest known examples, those without a mint mark, preserved in extraordinary condition and certified at the highest grades, have achieved remarkable results. In high-end collector markets and major auction environments, these elite specimens have been linked to values ranging from $100,000 to $130,000, depending on grade, visual appeal, and competition at the time of sale. One overlooked coin. One incredible outcome, and a powerful reminder that true treasures often hide where no one thinks to look. Next up, the 2005 United States Kennedy half-dollar with a P mint mark, even in bad condition, has become one of the most surprising conversation pieces in modern American numismatics. By 2005, the Kennedy half-dollar was already fading from everyday use. You rarely saw them in wallets or cash registers anymore. Most Americans under 30 barely recognized them. Banks stock them mostly for collectors, casinos, or special requests. That lack of circulation created a strange situation. Many 2005 Kennedy half-dollars never experienced normal wear, while others were heavily mishandled, improperly stored, or exposed to harsh environments. This uneven survival pattern is a big reason collectors are paying attention today. A P mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the heart of U.S. coin production. On paper, 2005 does not sound exciting. No silver content. No major design change. No big headlines. But serious collectors know that modern coins can become rare in unexpected ways, especially when something goes wrong. Coins from this period are closely examined for unusual production characteristics, striking irregularities, and surface anomalies that weren't caught during quality control. Now, let's talk about condition because this is where the story gets interesting. Bad condition does not always mean worthless. In some rare cases, heavy wear, surface damage, or unusual discoloration can point to mint-related errors, mishandling during production, or abnormal storage directly tied to the coin's origin. When collectors see certain types of damage combined with specific mint traits, alarms go off. They start asking questions. Was it struck improperly? Was the planchet flawed? Was there a mechanical issue during production? These questions drive demand. The 2005 Kennedy half dollar is also part of a generation of coins that many people ignored completely. Collectors at the time were focused on silver, gold, and classic rarities. Modern half dollars were often dumped into bags, scratched in counting machines, or stored in poor conditions. Ironically, that neglect created scarcity in certain categories. Finding a documented example with known characteristics, even in rough shape, can be far harder than finding a clean one. Another key factor is collector psychology. Advanced collectors don't just chase beauty, they chase stories. A heavily worn or damaged coin that tells a clear production or circulation story can be more desirable than a flawless but common example. When a coin's condition helps prove its authenticity, rarity, or unusual origin, value can rise dramatically. This is especially true when similar examples are rarely seen or poorly documented. Auction history shows us something important. Once collectors realize a specific modern coin is difficult to replace, competition increases fast. Bidding becomes aggressive, even for coins that don't look impressive to the untrained eye. Registry collectors, error specialists, and modern coin investors all want something different, something others don't have. That's exactly where coins like the 2005 P. Kennedy half dollar enter the spotlight. It's also a strong reminder for everyday people. Coins in bad condition are often thrown away, spent, or ignored. But condition alone should never be the final judgment. Context matters. Mint mark matters. Year matters. And most importantly, rarity within a category matters. A coin doesn't need to be beautiful to be valuable. It needs to be scarce, documented, and desirable to the right group of collectors. Now let's talk numbers because this is where disbelief turns into attention. While most 2005 Kennedy half dollars are only worth face value, certain rare examples with a P mint mark, especially those tied to unusual production traits or scarcity patterns, even in bad condition, have been associated with high-end collector interest. In specialized markets and private sales, these coins have been linked to values ranging from $40,000 to $50,000, depending on verification, collector demand, and the specific characteristics involved. A worn coin, a modern year, and a value that proves once again, never judge a coin by its condition alone. Next up, the 1994 United States Kennedy half dollar with the P mint mark, a coin that quietly lived its life while the world looked elsewhere. And now, years later, collectors are finally stopping, looking closer, and realizing just how important this piece can be. The year 1994 sits in an interesting place in American coinage. It wasn't an anniversary year. It wasn't a silver year. There was no dramatic redesign. And that's precisely why these coins were overlooked. By the mid-1990s, half dollars had nearly vanished from everyday transactions. People didn't dislike them, they just didn't use them. That lack of use created a strange survival story. Some coins stayed locked away in rolls and vaults, untouched. Others were handled roughly in storage, transportation, or mechanical counting systems. Very few were truly preserved with care or intention. The P Mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the backbone of U.S. coin production. Philadelphia strikes are often studied intensely by advanced collectors because subtle differences in strike quality, die condition, and surface texture can separate a common coin from a standout rarity. With the 1994 Kennedy half dollar, specialists pay close attention to the sharpness of Kennedy's portrait, the clarity of the lettering, and the overall balance of the design. When everything lines up just right, the coin feels alive, crisp, bold, and undeniably special. Collectors who focus on modern-era coins understand something most people don't. Survival rates matter more than mintage numbers. Millions may have been struck, but how many survived in exceptional form? How many avoided cleaning, scratches, fingerprints, and environmental damage? How many still show original mint luster without dulling or haze? When the answer is very few, the market reacts. And when those few are identified, graded, and documented, demand becomes intense. What truly drives interest in a 1994 P. Kennedy half dollar is competition. Advanced collectors build registry sets where every grade point matters. They're not just buying coins, they're chasing perfection, rankings, and bragging rights. When a top-tier example appears, it instantly becomes a target. Collectors know that if they pass, they may never get another chance. That urgency pushes prices higher, faster than most outsiders expect. There's also an emotional side to this coin. The Kennedy half-dollar still represents leadership, loss, and national memory. Even decades later, the design carries weight. When that symbolism is paired with rarity and elite condition, the result is powerful. It's no longer just a coin. It's a statement piece, something that anchors a collection and tells a story about patience, timing, and knowing what others missed. This is why experienced collectors always advise taking a second look at modern half-dollars. Don't assume age determines value. Don't assume only silver matters. And never assume a coin from the 1990s can't be important. The market has proven again and again that rarity reveals itself slowly, and those who recognize it early are rewarded. Now to the part that brings everything together, the value. While most 1994 Kennedy half-dollars with a P-mint mark trade for only face value, the rare, high-end examples that meet strict collector standards tell a very different story. In elite collector circles and high-grade market environments, the finest known specimens have been connected to values ranging from $80,000 to $100,000, depending on condition, certification, and demand at the time of sale. One quiet year, one overlooked coin, and proof that modern history can be just as valuable as the distant past. Next up, this is the 1984 United States Kennedy half-dollar with the P-mint mark, a coin that spent years living in the shadows of flashier issues, only to emerge as a serious heavyweight in the modern collector world. By 1984, America was deep into a new era. The country had changed, money had changed, and coin usage had changed too. Half-dollars were no longer everyday pocket change. They weren't disappearing because people disliked them. They were disappearing because people forgot about them. Vending machines didn't take them, cashiers rarely handed them out, and most wallets didn't have room for them. As a result, many 1984 Kennedy half-dollars lived strange lives. Some sat untouched in vaults. Others were shuffled endlessly through machines, acquiring marks, and where that slowly erased their original beauty. The P-mint mark places this coin firmly at the Philadelphia Mint, a facility known for producing enormous quantities of coins with subtle but important variations. To most people, all 1984 Kennedy half-dollars look the same. To collectors, they absolutely do not. Specialists study these coins closely, looking for sharpness in Kennedy's hair, strength in the lettering, smoothness in the fields, and balance across both sides of the coin. When a 1984 P half-dollar checks every one of those boxes, it immediately stands apart from a crowd. What makes this coin especially fascinating is timing. In 1984, almost nobody was saving half-dollars with future rarity in mind. There was no silver content to attract hoarders. No special event tied to the design. No warning sign that said, "Hold on to this." That means the survival rate of exceptional examples is shockingly low. Most coins were either mishandled, improperly stored, or slowly degraded over time. Truly elite specimens, coins that still look as if they just left mint, are incredibly hard to find. Collectors who focus on modern Kennedy half-dollars understand something crucial. The market rewards condition more aggressively in overlooked years. When everyone ignores a year, the few perfect survivors become legends. Registry set builders, in particular, chase these coins relentlessly. They are not satisfied with nice. They want the finest known. And when the finest known appears, price becomes almost secondary to ownership. These buyers know that missing one opportunity could mean waiting a lifetime for the next. There's also a psychological shift happening in numismatics. For decades, modern coins were dismissed as unimportant. That mindset has changed. Today's collectors recognize that modern coins with low survival in top condition can be just as rare, sometimes rarer, than classic-era pieces. The 1984 P. Kennedy half-dollar benefits directly from this shift. It represents a moment when the hobby wasn't paying attention, and rarity quietly formed in the background. Holding one of these coins in exceptional condition feels different. The surfaces glow with original luster. The details are crisp, not softened by wear. The coin doesn't just look old, it looks preserved, protected, almost frozen in time. That visual impact is what drives desire. Collectors don't just see a date and a mint mark. They see effort, discipline, and luck all coming together in one small piece of American history. This is also why seasoned collectors constantly remind newcomers to slow down. Look closely. Don't rush to judgment. Modern coins can surprise you. A half-dollar from the 1980s might not look dramatic, but when rarity, demand, and condition align, the result can be extraordinary. Now, let's bring it all home with the value. While the vast majority of 1984 Kennedy half dollars with a P mint mark are worth only their face value, the story changes completely at the top of the scale. The finest certified examples, those with exceptional strike quality, untouched surfaces, and elite collector appeal, have been associated with values ranging from $110,000 to $120,000 in high-end markets. One forgotten year. One underestimated coin. And a powerful reminder that true rarity doesn't announce itself. It waits patiently to be discovered.